It's time for energy. And yeah, of course, we are talking about coffee. Oh, damn it. I really hate that. But yeah, I need some coffee. That's very important. I need at least two, maybe around 5 coffee per day. So yeah, that's awesome. Share, everyone. A little bit too hot, but yeah, I love it. I need some water. If I don't have water, I cannot talk because, yeah, you know, I'm like to dry out like a flower. But welcome back to BLIXIA devlog. Okay, you know, I have been working with Interactible. I like to talk about interact more. It's easier to pronounce. And yeah, you know, when you are very close to example items, like if you want to loot something, if you want to talk with the NPC or doing something else, example with professions. And first did I start working it when we are close, between a distance, you can click on F key, then you're gonna loot or interact with the items. And after that did I feel like, okay, we can now do something with the key. Then we need to do something, example, to see it. So we did add a simple button, so when you're close, you know, okay, it says click F to interact with it. And after that did I see that, okay, something's wrong. I did add, example, a button, and every time, just the first time when we start the game, when I did interact with something, when the button did come up, the interact button come up, and I got some spike lag, like a spike lag something. And I tried to look everywhere, what's the problem? Then did I search in Unity forum, and then someone did talk about Text Mesh Pro. I did try to remove it and add the legacy one right now. Then the spike lag did remove, so awesome. But I really hope the Text Mesh Pro can fix this, or is there some other solution? Maybe you can comment if you know that. But it's just the first time when you loot, it's gonna lag, like the rendering UI with the, yeah, I think is something with the Text Mesh Pro or something, I'm not really sure. But if you have a solution, you can comment. Okay, let's talk about the icon feature. That's something new I have been adding, and this is same thing as interact thing. So example, how it's gonna work. Example, we can talk about NPC and example treasure chest. So if you're close to a chest or maybe an NPC, we're gonna have different icons. So example, NPC gonna have a chat icons, then your brain gonna understand, oh okay, that person can we talk with. And the other thing, if you see a treasure chest, right now I have an icon, like eye. So we have an icon with the eye symbol. So that thing feels like, okay, that fits quite good. I hope so. In the future maybe we change that. But so when you're close to a chest, it's gonna pop up an icon. Same with NPC that you can talk with. And then after that it feels like, okay, it looks a little bit too static for me. I want a little bit more dynamic. So I did started to think, okay, maybe we can have a distance. Example, if you're very far, it's gonna have a bigger icon. And the closer you're moving to it, yeah, the icon gonna scale down. So I did fix that, and yeah, I did feel like, okay, that's really awesome. Of course, there's some bugs that I need to fix, but yeah, the system is working, and I'm very, very happy about that. Sorry for interrupt here, but I want to thank a person that did tip me. It calls devlogs. Sorry for pronouncing very wrong here, but the person did send me $102, and I can be I wish I could vlog or something when I did see that. I did wake up in the morning and see on the phone like always, and I did feels like it was a spam or something, and I saw $102 for support, and yeah, thanks so much. I'm not sure what I'm gonna say, but you're really awesome, very kind. I'm gonna use that for buying a Steam license, so thanks for that. And of course, before we're gonna move on, you can see here, this is my support page if someone else wants to support. And yeah, move on. Okay, it's lunchtime. I did feels like I want to share what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna fix the brightness. And yeah, here we got some chicken. We got some rice over here. Yummy. Sorry for the focus one. I'm gonna do like this. Yeah. And we got some soup over here. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Navmeshagent versus character controller. Yeah, I have been using character controller from begin. It's very easy to work with, and yeah, just add the script and start to make the movement. But now I have adding Navmeshagent, and I want to talk about the good and bad things between Navmeshagent and character controller. First, I'm gonna talk about the character controller, why I'm gonna change to Navmeshagent right now. And remember, this is a experiment things. Maybe I change back, but it feels like I'm gonna stay with this. First, character controller is very easy to work with. Example, grab it very easily. You can jumping down for edges if it's something I really need to have, and it's easy to just add in colliders. But yeah, the bad thing is that the character can falling down from the edge. Of course there are some solution, but I did make some solution that the character cannot falling down, but I feel like sometimes it's not working, so it's take a lot of time to work around with that, so that a bad thing. That's why I did feels like, okay, I really need to start testing with Navmeshagent. So I started to recode everything to Navmeshagent because my game using WASD movement, and we are attacking with the mouse example. I did rechange the codes, so now I'm using Navmeshagent. So the good thing with Navmeshagent is that it's really great. You cannot falling down from edge. That's the best thing. And of course there are some other good thing that it's really awesome. You can add example pathfinding with different layers. Of course you can do with the character controller that too, but in Navmeshagent I feel like it's more easy to work with. Example, if you want make the character swim in water, so we can make a path that calls water with a layer example, and I feel like it's more and easier to do that. Example, if we want to add example lava, I'm sorry if I pronounce wrong, but if we add lava, it's really easy to do that. We cannot move on that. So yeah, there are some really good things, but of course there are some bad things with Navmeshagent too. Example, sometimes I don't really understand how to fix some things like with the pathfinding, but that's something I need to learn, of course. So, but yeah, I feels like Navmeshagent gonna be something gonna stay in the game, but this is experiment, of course, that I said. I feel like I'm gonna stay with that, and we're gonna see. But yeah, so I have moved from character controller to Navmeshagent. Okay, we are gonna talk about combat system. That's something I have been thinking when I'm gonna talk about that, and it's today. I have starting to work with the combat system. And yeah, you know, I don't really have any enemies. Of course, I can download from asset store having a prototype, and I'm gonna do that later. But so it feels like we are adding training dummies. Yeah, you heard it, training dummies. That's very easy to design. Add some simple animation that you can see here. And it's very easy to showcase new skills, example, new combat stance, yeah, whatever. So training dummies are really good to start with. So now we're gonna have training dummies in nearly every town. Awesome. But we're gonna talk more now about the combat feature. That I said before, we're gonna move with WASD, and we're gonna use the mouse to use direction where we're gonna attack. If you're shooting fireball with staff, if you're having the mouse here, it's gonna be that direction when you're clicking. It's gonna be a little bit more easy to explain. The combat are very close to example Diablo, Torchlight, Green Dawn, Titan Quest, you know, that things where the mouse is, you're gonna attack the enemies. But the only difference here is that we are using keyboard movement. The next thing I'm gonna talk about how we're gonna use example change the weapon and change animation. I'm gonna use, of course, animator. That's an of course. But we can say example one-handed sword, and we can say bow. We're gonna have example different animator. We're gonna have one animator that are the base one. Example idle, run, die. Yeah, you know, all the base thing. Then we're gonna use the override animator, providing example bow. So that's gonna be very easy to add to the equipment. So when we equip the bow, we're gonna override the animator to the bow animator. And of course the other thing, like when we're one-handed sword, it's gonna override and change the animation to example holding a sword. That's the easiest solution for me. And you can see here I have been starting to work with that. So that's really awesome. More about the combat system can I not talk too much because I haven't adding everything, but that I can say we're gonna have melee combat, range combat, and magic combat. That's we're gonna have. If you didn't know about Blixten Quest, it's gonna be very similar to that. And I do feel like we can have a very fast question here. What weapon types do you like? Maybe something I can add to the game later. Example, we can talk, do you like weapon type with axe or staff, wand, two-handed sword, skite? I'm not sure if I pronounce wrong, skite, that one. But yeah, you can comment if there's some weapon type you like. And I want to say thanks, and remember to subscribe. I'm very soon to 700 followers. Have a great day.